I had a surprising realization today. Cigarettes kills far more people than polio ever did. In fact, secondhand smoking kills more people every year than polio ever did, even at its worst year in 1952. Here are the numbers. In 1952, the worst year recorded for polio, 3,145 people died supposedly from polio, and I'm sure they weren't all polio because as we're finding out now, even FDR, the president who supposedly had polio, a lot of scientists are saying he didn't have polio, he had Guillain-Barré syndrome. I'm digressing a little bit, but you gotta watch my other videos. I'll put the truth about polio. I've got some videos on polio. I'll put it in the description below as well at the end of the video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, The Awareness Revolution, and make sure to check that out because I've got lots of great videos. Anyways, so they recategorized polio, and a lot of diseases today have polio-like symptoms, including but not limited to Guillain-Barré syndrome. So some people think that FDR actually had Guillain-Barré. So maybe polio wasn't eradicated, it was just renamed. And polios didn't eradicate vaccines. No sense of rehashing that. But, I mean, vaccines did not eradicate polio, sorry. But I'll put that video to that to explain the story. Today's video is just kind of putting this in perspective, you know, because we were all led to believe polio is some crazy dangerous disease and vaccines saved us from it. But, you know, I mean, granted, 3,000 people in a year to die from polio is a lot of people. But secondhand smoke kills over 20,000 people every year and has been for a long time. See, the polio epidemic, supposed epidemic, was only a few years, and in fact, the cases of polio dropped by I think like 70 or 80% in a few years before the vaccine was even introduced. But you know, if you're gonna be worried about polio when it's killing 3,000 people, shouldn't we be far more worried about secondhand smoke that's killing 20,000 people? And it's crazy because now people still today, even though polio supposedly is eradicated in the US, people will still get their polio vaccines. Well, if no one's got polio, how are you going to get polio? Anyways, so the thing is they want everyone else to get vaccinated to protect the greater good, you know, to create this herd immunity, which has never been proven to be the case with vaccines. It only happens in nature. But the thing is we all are urged to get these vaccines because of this crazy epidemic that happened with polio and other things too. But meanwhile, we've got this ongoing threat of tobacco killing over 400,000 people every year, and 20,000 of them it's from secondhand smoke. So just based on those numbers alone, you should be more afraid of dying from secondhand smoke than you should have been at the peak of the polio epidemic in 1952. But is anyone afraid of secondhand smoke? No. We're like, oh, you know, I don't like it, or, you know, obviously it's not good, but we don't look at it as polio. Can you imagine if someone had polio and they were walking around sneezing on you, achoo! You know, blowing smoke into your, you know, breathing area. You know, if you were in a car with someone and they had polio and they were just like, you know, blowing their nose or something like that. I mean, polio is transmitted through feces, you know, but most people don't even know that. You know, but what if they were shitting on you, you know? If, like, literally, I mean, obviously this is a crazy hypothetical example, but, you know, I mean, we have this fear of polio when cigarettes are far more deadly. It's killing far more people than polio ever did. And yet these tobacco companies are still making cigarettes with these toxic chemicals that don't even need to be in the cigarettes to begin with. Like a big portion, I think like a quarter of the weight of a cigarette is the chemicals. There's thousands of chemicals in cigarettes. It's not just tobacco. Alright? So it's killing lots of people. It's like a 9/11, like every day or two. You know, the amount of people that died, it was about 3,000 or something. But about that many people die every like 2 days or something, just from tobacco. And it continues to go on. We know how to prevent it. We just go straight to the people that are making this stuff, and we stop them, you know? But either way, you know, the people that are smoking cigarettes aren't frowned upon in society like anti-vaxxers. You know, I get a lot of people, you know, get into heated debates with people that are like, anti-vaxxers are the reason that these, you know, measles are coming back, you know, the measles outbreak at Disney, which, by the way, the people that say that, they have no idea. No one died. There's no reported deaths from the measles outbreak at Disney. You know, and a lot of the people, actually, they came to find out that a lot of the people were vaccinated. All right, so it's a bunch of nonsense all around. I've got a whole playlist of videos about vaccines that I'll put at the end of this video. And I encourage you to watch it all. I go over like CDC pages, you know, and stuff like that. Really, really good information. But, you know, it's just shocking because it's all perspective. You know, it's all where our reference point is. You know, when we think of like polio, we don't know how many people are dying. We don't know that it's rare for people to even get paralysis, and almost in very few cases the paralysis is permanent. It almost always goes away after a few days, and all they did was just change the way that they diagnose it, and that's how they eradicated polio. And it was basically because it spread through feces. All they did was clean up sanitation, you know, improve sanitation and reclassification of the disease and changing the way that diagnosed it. That's what eradicated polio. It has nothing to do with the vaccines. And another thing, you know, if we stop smoking, like let's say if we banned it. I'm not saying I'm for banning smoking, but I'm just saying, you know, that would save over 400,000 lives a year, over 20,000 of which aren't even smokers. If we were to do that, there would be no side effects from it. It isn't like people are going to start dying of from lack of cigarettes, right? But through the process of supposedly preventing preventable disease like polio vaccines and these other vaccines, we are injuring people. The secret vaccine court has paid out billions of dollars to people that have been injured by vaccines. So in an effort to save a little bit of lives, we are also injuring and killing people. Whereas we can save more lives by banning cigarettes, and there's no harmful effects with banning cigarettes like there are with mandating vaccines that have never been tested for safety. So give me a thumbs up, you guys, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. If you have any questions, comments, if you disagree with this video, let me know in the comments below, because I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say. And I have a small audience right now because YouTube deleted my channel a while back for thinking outside of the box too much. So I'm rebuilding my following. That's why I would appreciate if you subscribe. But also because I have a low subscriber rate now, I have the time to answer your questions. And if you have any video ideas for me, if it's a good video idea, I'll do a video on it. And if you have a good question, I'll answer a good question. But I just want to put this in perspective because it's shocking. They have us worried about these things that when you look at the numbers were never really that bad. Meanwhile, we've got things that are killing us at a way bigger rate right now, and no one's even flipping out on anyone. No, it's just accepted as normal. All right? So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you watch another video in the future.